We live in a culture obsessed with the idea of freedom. We celebrate it, we vote for it, and we center our lives around it. Yet, if you look closely at the average daily experience, most of us wake up exhausted, anxious, and deeply tethered to a dozen different obligations. To understand why, we have to look at the two ways we usually define being free. The first is freedom from. This is the fundamental drive to escape a negative external force. Quitting a job with a micromanaging boss, moving out of an overbearing parent's house, or walking away from a strict religious dogma. The second stage is freedom for. This is the positive, proactive side of the coin. It's the drive to chase your desires, build wealth, or design a lifestyle where you can do whatever you want without restriction. There is a logical trap hidden inside both of these stages. When you rebel against something, your identity is still entirely defined by reacting to a force outside yourself. And when you are sprinting toward an endless list of desires, you are simply taking orders from the relentless demands of your own mind. As long as your concept of freedom requires pushing against an obstacle or chasing an external prize, you are not actually free. In reality, you are merely choosing your dependencies. From the moment we are born, society conditions us to believe that our raw, natural state is flawed. We are taught that self-improvement means abandoning who we currently are to emulate a higher, supposedly better ideal. We are heavily pressured to become carbon copies of historical and spiritual icons. We are told to spend our lives copying the absolute peace of the Buddha, or we must strive to imitate the commanding morality and self-sacrifice of Jesus. This creates a quiet, lifelong civil war. Your mind acts as the enforcer, criticizing you and demanding that you act like someone else, while your heart is desperate to just be yourself. You burn massive amounts of your own natural energy in that internal conflict. Striving to be a perfect replica of another human being is a form of psychological castration. It guarantees a life of constant internal tension, and it makes authentic freedom impossible. The Indian philosopher Osho proposed a third stage, just freedom. He defined this as choiceless awareness, a state where you simply exist as yourself, without reacting to or pursuing anything at all. There is an immediate hurdle to reaching this state. You cannot think your way into it, because your analytical mind is the very mechanism keeping you imprisoned. The solution is the science of meditation. Stripped of all the mystical and religious fluff, meditation is a highly practical act. It is the strict practice of witnessing. Your mind operates like a chaotic, high-speed highway of thoughts, and you are tumbling around inside that current. The watcher involves stepping out of the traffic. You sit by the side of the road and observe your passing thoughts without judging them. You just watch. True meditation doesn't require running away to live on a mountain. It is simply the internal shift from being an active, judgmental participant in your own head to a neutral observer. Sitting quietly and watching your thoughts is incredibly difficult for an overstimulated brain. We carry too much physical and mental restlessness. That is exactly why specific methods and techniques were created, to bypass that restlessness. Osho designed meditations rooted in intense active movement. They are engineered to help modern, high-energy people physically burn off their layers of pent-up anxiety before they even attempt to sit still. But it is crucial to understand what these techniques actually are. They are just boats. They are temporary tools built specifically to help cross the chaotic river of your own mind. Once you reach the opposite shore, a state of alert relaxation with no effort, you must abandon the method. If you cross a river and then insist on carrying the heavy boat on your head for the rest of your journey, out of a sense of gratitude, you have just traded one form of bondage for another. Real freedom means abandoning the cure the moment you are healed. When the traffic of the mind finally settles, you are left with your original, unprogrammed awareness. This is the same purity you had as a child, before the layers of shoulds and oughts were imposed on you. In this state, the ideals you were trying to copy lose their power over you. You realize that existence doesn't want carbon copies. It wants your uniqueness. This isn't a feeling you manufacture. It's the natural result of no longer fighting against your own nature. When you stop relying on these pre-written scripts, your internal intelligence begins to function. Without the noise of past conditioning, you see clearly and start responding to exactly what the current situation requires of you. When you are no longer violent toward yourself, trying to force your being into a shape it doesn't fit, a natural sense of harmony arises. Love and compassion aren't goals to reach. They are the flowers that naturally bloom when you stop living in a state of civil war. The highest experience of life isn't found in reaching perfection or becoming a saint. It is simply the act of existing as your own unique, incomparable self.